everyone.
Hi guys.
Welcome to episode 2 of Terra Girls. I'm Brittany.
I'm Tiffany.
And we're the Terra Girls. Thanks for tuning in. We were so excited about the response to our first episode, and we're excited to be back, hopefully improving our sound and lights.
Yeah, we had some sound difficulties with our mics last time. If you stuck around until the bloopers at the end, there's some great clips of me just verbally processing.
We're DIYing this, okay? It is very techy. I don't know if you saw, Sue commented, the original Terra Girls was like literally my phone in my house. You know, it was like during COVID and we were just jerry-rigging it. So this is Tech Savvy Terra Girls coming to you for episode 2.
I'm super excited about it, you know?
So at the beginning, we always like to check in with our like health stats. And for us, that's not like, oh my God, how many 100 miles did you run this week? It's more like, have you drank any water today? You know, how many steps are you taking? Things like that.
All right.
So,
have you had any water today? Because we learned last week that Brittany doesn't drink a lot of water.
I know. So today, since Terra Girls last time, I have been trying to get up and drink water immediately.
Look at this. We are already seeing results, people.
We're improving people's lives, our own. So I had about 10 gulps of water today so far. It is early, so, but I did try to have water before I had coffee today.
Good.
Yes. What about you?
I have had 3 glasses again.
Oh my
I think that just must be like my normal for this time.
Yeah.
I have already had some coffee though, because I learned last week I couldn't actually drink too much coffee while we were filming because
Talking.
a lot of talking. Didn't want the weird sip sounds.
Yep.
So I had some coffee, but I'm still drinking more.
Yeah.
But I have had 3 glasses.
How about steps?
Okay, steps. So my Garmin's back, people. Super pumped about it. Let's see what I've got today. Now that's going to be low, I think, at this point.
11.
I have gone 786 steps.
That's not bad.
No, not too bad.
Yeah.
It thinks that I should get 7,250 today.
Okay. Yeah. So I changed my goal on my Garmin. You can change it on the app, and I just make it 10,000 every day. So that is like learning. So it does it based on what you've done the past couple of days. So I've been pretty good. I ran yesterday and I took my dog for 2 good walks because it was really nice out. So I had about 14,000 yesterday.
That's awesome.
But a couple of days before just wasn't as active because I had a lot of stuff going on, and it was like 6,000, 5,000.
Yeah, it says my average. Again, I just put this on Monday, so it's back. So this is Monday, Tuesday, and then today's Wednesday as we're filming. My average is 6,739. Also, as we learned last week, 10,000 steps really is
hard.
Approximately 5 miles.
So tell us in the comments, or check your Garmin's or your Apple Watches or whatever you use, and see if you can get 10,000 steps with us too. That's like, I think, a really good goal that's just throughout the day. I've been trying to do like health goals that are just throughout the day. Just try to make overall my day more active.
Well, your homework is to drink 2 Nalgene's.
Honestly,
water.
That's my homework. So today we have a couple things we're going to talk about. Our thing we're most excited to talk about, that we're going to have to pare down all the things that we include, is the Boston Marathon.
It happened this past weekend.
Yep, we want to give you a recap. It was the 50th anniversary of women officially in the Boston Marathon.
Which is amazing.
Yes, so we want to celebrate women's running today. Men, you're also invited to celebrate with us. We also want to discuss a little bit our first marathon experiences. So we both have pretty exciting first marathons. And by exciting, I mean adventurous, and maybe you can learn from our mistakes. So let's get started.
All right. What were your favorite highlights from the Boston Marathon? 126th Boston Marathon, 50th Boston Marathon that women have been officially invited to run.
Yeah. The women's finish is something that I have heard so many people talk about the past couple days. Apparently the women passed each other. There was 2 women at the end, and they passed each other 8 times in that final mile, which is
it's amazing.
You know, they were both gunning it for the finish. I mean, that is an awesome finish. So that usually marathoning isn't that exciting at the end.
It's not.
Or at all. You know, it's kind of, especially with the men, they kind of spread out and that's it. But the women, all the way up until the end, they were
8 times in the last month.
Yeah.
I mean, that is crazy.
Yeah, so the first place was the Kenyan Perez Jebchirchir, and the second place was Ethiopian. We wrote the names down so we don't say them wrong.
Yeshina?
Yep.
Ababel
Yeshina. Yep.
Yeah.
And
Jebchirchir is also the gold medalist at this past Olympics.
yeah, so some awesome women. Like, what a great finish for the 50th anniversary of women in the race.
I was reading about Jebchirchir. She's 28.
Wow.
She's Kenyan. She does not have a coach. She has no running coach. She
Whoa.
trains with men over in Kenya. She's got a baby.
Wow.
Just living her life.
That's amazing.
Being the best in the world.
Yeah, that's amazing.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
We'll talk about our own marathon experiences here in a minute.
They were not like that.
No, I am in awe of the speed that these people have. I mean, it is crazy. Think of your 5K when you're like booking it. They're doing that for faster, way faster.
Way faster.
And for over 26 miles.
Yes.
And then to be able to pass each other there, crazy.
Yeah. I also love following, shout out to Elena Tab, who runs for Adidas. We went to high school together. Hi, Elena. Like she's watching. Elena runs for Adidas, and we love following her career, my family and I. And Elena was the 6th American, 16th overall.
That's really
amazing.
Impressive. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, Elena, we love following you. So she's great. And then, the dog. You keep every time we talk about Boston, she's like, "Did you see Spencer the dog?"
Here's the thing. There's so many highlights.
Yeah.
And who doesn't love dogs?
We love dogs.
This 12-year-old golden retriever named Spencer has been a staple on the course since 2015. And he holds this little flag that says Boston Strong. And if you've ever run a race, especially like a distance race, it's just the best thing when people are on the sidelines cheering. And obviously, if you're going to see a golden retriever with a little flag in his mouth, it's going to make you happy while you're running.
Definitely.
Anyways, in 2020, they canceled the race. He was on the course, but he had a surgery to remove a cancerous tumor.
Not funny, sorry.
No, but it's okay because he's totally fine now. He was back on the course, and they named him the official dog of the 126 Boston Marathon. He even got his own little bib that says Spencer on it.
Boy.
It's very, very cute. You should go look it up.
Yeah. And then finally, what I loved was 2 elite/retired elite women marathoners ran with para athletes as their guides this time. So Shalane Flanagan ran with Adrienne Hazlitt, who is a Boston Marathon survivor who lost her leg in the bombing. And Shalane Flanagan was her guide the whole time. How cool to get to run a marathon with Shalane Flanagan.
I would be like, okay, I can go faster. She would be just like, chilling. Probably walking.
She can walk next to you.
Probably walking next to you.
Yeah. And then Alexi Pappas, who we're going to talk about in a little bit, who runs for Ultra, was the guide for a visually impaired runner, which was so cool. And she's super fun. So that was really fun to watch her highlights online.
That's awesome.
But I love that. That's super selfless and just amazing. Another celebration of women's running, I think, of all abilities.
Absolutely. Yeah, and so we talked about, it's the 50th official year that women have been allowed to run in the Boston Marathon. Oh my gosh, I forget her name, but they had one of the original 8. So 8 women finished that first Boston Marathon that women were invited. And they had, she ran it again this year, Val something. Yep. Val ran again. I think she's in her 70s.
Yeah,
and,
that's amazing.
It really
is. To run the same marathon 50 years apart. Oh my gosh.
I know. Again, everybody. I know you know this because that's why you're watching it and you guys love running, or you sort of love running. Maybe, I don't know. But 26 miles, over 26 miles. People come in the store all the time and they I'll ask them what they need their shoes for, running, walking, standing, work, whatever. And so many people joke well, clearly I'm not a runner. Clearly I'm not a runner. Maybe they're a little bit older, or they would think that they don't have a runner's body, whatever that is. But this is why I'm like, I don't know if you could be running.
Absolutely.
Any of you people could be running.
Definitely.
Anyways, super impressed by that, running it 50 years later as a celebration. And just thankful, honestly. I think it's easy to pass over. Women weren't allowed to run.
Right.
They were not allowed to run in that race.
Yep.
And we're going to obviously talk about our own marathon experiences, but that wouldn't have happened if if women before hadn't been like, no, we want to run.
Right.
We're athletes too.
Yeah.
And so genuinely really excited and thankful for that. But
Yeah.
yeah.
So tell us about your first marathon, Tiff.
Okay, so everybody, I've only run one marathon in my life, and you're about to hear about it. I guess you could say my ultra was more. It was more than
It was a marathon plus. Yeah.
Yeah, it was trail race. But my actual official marathon, I've run lots of halves. Half's my favorite distance because it's still like a solid effort, but it's not like immediately anything could send me into tears.
Yes. Yes.
And that is basically what happened. So 2018, I was like, was it 2017 or 2018? It was 2018. I looked it up. Finished in 5 hours and 32 minutes, something like that. I was doing great until about mile 18. And then it was starting to become incredibly painful. So this is I did the Nashville, the Rock and Roll St. Jude Marathon. I know a lot of you have probably done the half, maybe done the marathon. That's actually this weekend. Did you know that?
It is this weekend.
I was getting really nostalgic about it. I was like, oh my gosh, maybe I could do it. I was like, no.
I have those thoughts all the time. I'll just jump in. That's a stupid idea.
Yeah. I was like, I could do the half. Well, first of all, I have to help out at a friend's wedding this weekend, so it wouldn't work anyway. So I was like, well, good thing.
That's probably good.
Could have done something rash.
It's a good way to get hurt.
But anyways, it's a great course. Highly recommend. It's Nashville. It's very hilly. I've done the half there a ton of times, so super familiar up until it splits and it's like, okay, half runners this way, marathon runners this way. I'm like, okay, yes, I'm finally going the marathon route. Feeling so good about myself. Yeah, mile 18, I started to become in so much pain. You like pass the finish. So the half people are finishing
that's so tough.
and you are not finishing. You are going. And here's my advice. I did not have proper nutrition. I'm like thinking I'm great. You know, I've got my banana. I've got my I'm getting stuff. Okay, I'm getting stuff from the aid stations.
But also stuff you've never eaten before.
No, well, yes, more so. I can't even remember. I think I had some blocks, but I just didn't consider that as like part of my training. Yeah. And that was the problem. Yep. So it was more like, oh, I know I need to eat things because I'm burning a lot of calories, but I didn't have a strategy. It wasn't like, okay, at 40 minutes, I'm having a goo. Like, it was just like, oh, here's an aid station. Oh, what do they have? Like,
that looks good.
Yeah, terrible idea, everyone. It got to be so painful. I wanted to, well, obviously, I'm fine with walking. Run walking, you're still a runner in my eyes. You finish your race, absolutely.
For
amazing.
sure.
So I don't mind walking because you can still kind of book it.
You wanted to sit down.
It literally hurt more to walk than run.
Yeah.
I am not kidding.
Yeah.
I started to get hip pain, my IT band was super tight, but I wanted to walk because obviously it was so burnt out, but I'm not kidding, it hurt more to walk than it did to run. So then I'm running more.
Right.
Kind of weird limp.
You're probably running and crying.
Yeah, it was, I really wanted to sit down. I mean, I have never wanted to sit down so much in my life. I'm not kidding. But the great thing is too, again, if you ever get a chance to cheer for people on a marathon course, do it. It made such a difference, especially the Nashville race. I mean, people set out it's like a thing. They've got their tables out there outside in their yards. They've got signs. Yep. And your bib has your name on it. And so it was so sweet. Like people were like, Tiffany, go, Tiffany, you can do it. And that made me cry. Yes. I was like, oh my God. And they, all the fun that they're dressed up in little costumes. They had I remember someone had a Mario sign that was hit for a power boost.
Oh,
or something.
yeah.
Please, a power boost.
Please make it work.
But right at the end, it was the last 2 miles. First of all, again, another story of terrible nutrition. Right near the end, they had pickle juice. It's lots of salt.
You didn't take it.
I didn't take it. I didn't. I should have. I should have. I was like, I want pickle juice.
If I had pickle juice, race is over. No way I could have pickle juice during a race.
Well, you
should have taken it.
You sweat, you got salt just all over your body. I should have taken it. I was like, no, I don't want pickle juice.
But you finished.
I finished, and the people there running with me at the end were amazing. I remember, again, people behind me, I was starting to kind of try to walk again, but it really hurt. And they were like, no, you can do this. You can do this. You've got this. And I was like, okay, I really can. But I feel like one of my most memorable moments is my friend who was there to pick me up. She was like race support. I finished. I was so excited to finish. I sat down, I looked at my phone, and she had put, hey, my phone's about to die. If it dies and I can't find you, meet at the car at like pole whatever. This is Nissan Stadium in Nashville. Seeing that I might have to get up and walk, I burst into tears. I mean, literally burst into tears. Couldn't do it. She found me, her phone didn't die. She's like, are you okay? I was like, yes. So moral of the story, train with nutrition, like have a strategy. I did not have a strategy. I also, if you're training for a marathon, long runs are really hard to come by. And I kind of was like, it's close enough.
Right.
Didn't stick to my plan as well as I should have, as well as I wished that I should have. But I will say, like a couple hours later after a good nap, I was like, I'd do that again.
Yeah.
Same day, I said I'd do that again. So I know I'm talking about a lot of pain, a lot of tears, but it was overall great experience. Highly recommend. Again, that's the only one I've ever done, but I did do in 2020 it was supposed to be 31 miles, but it was 33-mile race.
Wow.
Shout out to Beth Ann Laverne, got me through that one. I had a knee injury in that race.
Man.
But all that to say, don't be scared off by my experience. It was a great experience.
Yep.
Be inspired that
if Tiffany can do it, you can do it.
And it was slow, but it was still great.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Tell us about yours experience.
So I've done 4 marathons, but we were just talking about this, not in a decade. I did 4 marathons in 4 years when I was in college and haven't done one since. So I don't know, maybe there's one in my future. It will be considerably slower, but it is what it is.
What was your time, first marathon?
So first marathon, my time was 4 hours and 14 minutes.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and it was, this is like a story of ignorance is bliss. I had no idea what I didn't know, and I just kept running and kept my pace. So I was 19 years old. I ran the Disney Marathon as my first one.
That is awesome.
And trained well. I was really young, and I had no injuries. This was before the time of GPS. Yes, we are old enough to live in before a time of everyone having GPS. Now, there were GPSs that were very big and took up your whole arm, and I didn't have one.
Yeah,
I mean, no one, it was not nearly as widely used as it is now. So I ran with just a watch, and I walked. So I ran 8 minutes and walked 1 minute. For the entire thing.
Honestly, that's a great strategy. Yeah. I wish I had done something like that.
Yeah, and I stuck to it because there was also I only used gels. There was only like goo, as I remember. So I used gels. I remember I had 4 gels, and I only ate the gels when I was walking. So I really stuck to my plan, and it was great. It was, when we talk about crying, it was the only race I've not cried at. It was at Disney, and I was like just having fun the whole time. And honestly, like I didn't know what I didn't know, It was super fun. I would definitely recommend a Disney race. They're great. They're expensive, but if you can make it a thing and like go to Disney, it was so fun. So I loved my first marathon, but I definitely had a plan and stuck to it to the T. Marathons later were, my second marathon, I thought would be just as easy as my first. Didn't put in the time and training, and I thought, I've done this before, I can do this distance. And it was considerably harder. It was much hillier. Disney is pretty flat, so that was helpful.
That does help.
But I loved Disney, and I was just, happy-go-lucky, and
Do you get to like high five any characters?
Oh, so many characters. A lot of people do Disney races and will like just want to finish and stop and see all the characters. I didn't do that, but it was super fun.
Oh, that's so
it was
good.
a really fun race. So highly recommend a Disney race, and it just reminds me that was a long time ago. And if I do another one, I just have to be okay with being a little slower,
Yeah, 4 hours and 14 minutes?
Yeah, and so
that's very impressive.
It was great. And and then I kind of chased that time in my other ones, and it proved not as easy. So it was great. It was a great race.
Okay, you've done 4. What was the worst? Worst marathon?
Yeah, so my second marathon was Richmond, Virginia. That was that same year. So I was like, I'll do another one. And 4 months later, I did another one. And it was much harder. that was one where I cried for miles. And then my third or fourth, maybe, it was Marine Corps. And I was telling Tiff this story earlier. At mile 22, I was going for a time in this race. I wanted to get as close to 4 hours as I could. I finished in 4:01.
That's awesome.
Yeah, well, thank you. It's really awesome. I wanted 4 hours.
That's fair.
So,
I feel like when I run, I'm just like,
yeah.
I just want to finish.
Yeah, well, and like I said, that was a decade ago. If I did it now, I have to be okay with, I'm not going to be anywhere close. But I dropped a cliff block at mile 22 of the Marine Corps Marathon, and I burst into tears. And I cried the entire rest of the way. And then when I finished at Marine Corps, it's like Nashville, a very big race. So when you finish, you have to walk a considerable distance to get to the meeting place with your family. And I cried the whole time. And when I finally got to the meeting place, my family wasn't there yet, and I just sat there and bawled. And people were like coming up to me like, "Are you okay?" I'm fine. Fine. It's just emotional, okay? So yeah, I cried. Crying and marathoning are they go together for
even
me.
These elite runners.
Yeah,
they'll cry.
Yeah, there's lots of crying.
Lots of crying.
It's just emotional.
Also, yeah, let's just take a minute and appreciate the fact that they were finishing the women were finishing like I think it was 2 hours and like 21 minutes. The men 2 hours and I think 6 minutes. My 5 hours and 30 something, which was slower than I was hoping, but it's fine. 4 hours and something. I mean, like, they are so fast.
So much faster.
For so long.
They're gone. They took a shower. They had lunch. They took a nap. And then we finish.
Right. Oh, it's crazy.
Yeah. Share your marathon stories.
Yes.
Your most emotional marathon, your first marathon, if you're training for one. This all has got me like talking about it. I'm like, I need to do another one.
I know. That's why I was like, oh, Nashville's this weekend. Yeah. I wouldn't do the marathon. Don't get me wrong. Do the half. Yeah. That still would have been a bad idea.
Yeah.
Maybe you haven't done a marathon, but you've done halves and you've got some great stories. We want to hear those too.
Yeah.
But tell us your race stories. We want to hear them.
Speaking of halves, I'd like to give a shout out to my brother-in-law, Josh, who is running his first half.
That's awesome.
Next weekend in Pittsburgh. I wrote him a training plan, and he has stuck to it to the T. Josh is going to do great. I'm so excited for him. He is going to it's his first half, and Pittsburgh is really big and super fun, and he's going to love it.
Yes,
so shout out to Josh.
Good luck, Josh.
Yeah. So in conclusion, we have come up with a new idea. You know that if you know me, you know the only thing I love more than running and Rocky, my dog, is books. I love reading.
She loves reading.
That's an understatement. I can't emphasize it enough. We want to invite you to read with us. So we're starting a Terra Girls book club. And if Alexi Pappas is interested, we would be interested in getting a sticker that she can put on all her books. You know how like Reese Witherspoon's book club?
Or like Oprah's.
The Good Morning America book club. Alexi, if you want us to get you a sticker for the Terra Girls book club, we'd be happy to. So this is one of my favorite running books. Alexi Pappas runs for Ultra. She was the one that we mentioned that ran with a visually impaired runner in Boston. And she wrote a book last year called Bravey. And it is a super fun book, not just for women. She talks a lot about the mental struggles of running. She ran in the Olympics for Greece a couple years ago. And just the challenges of training for that. And then if you've ever run a big race where you trained so much for, kind of the other end of that. When the race is over, what does that kind of feel like? Physically, mentally. It's such a good book. So we're going to read it.
So excited to read it.
And we invite you to read it too. So if you want to read it along with us, in a few weeks we're going to check back in and talk about it. And
maybe we can get stickers for our book club that we can give to people who join
if you're
us.
reading it, you can put it on your copy. Terra Girls Book Club. So not just for women. We're going to pick different running books that we like. We have some books in the future that we've got our eye on. So we invite you to read with us.
Yeah.
I was going to say run and read.
Well, run and read.
Yeah.
Well, one of my favorite things about, reading things about running or health or magazines, documentaries, it's very inspiring for me. Maybe that's just me as a person.
No,
but
definitely.
It inspires me, but it also helps me be better. Mm-hmm. Hopefully we are that in a small way too. Like I said, train with nutrition. Have a strategy.
Practice your nutrition. That was something that pick nutrition that you've had before and practice with it. Yeah, that's my advice.
So do that. Get 10,000 steps a day.
And grab the book.
Drink at least 2 Nalgene's. Grab the book. Let us know that you're reading with us.
Yeah.
We're super excited.
It's a great one.
Discuss next episode. I don't know how many chapters we'll be in.
We'll see how fast Tiff can read.
I'm a fast reader.
Yeah, but grab the book, and we invite you to read with us, and tell us what you think.
Yeah. All right. And what else? What else?
That's all.
Wrap this up.
Yeah, I think we do. Yeah, thanks for tuning in. Be sure to share this with your friends. We're really excited that the momentum that Terra Girls already has, but we invite you to share it and tag a friend who you want to watch. It's a great way to listen to it on a run, engage with us, and
let us know any topics that you want to hear about
for sure
in the future. Any guests that you would like to have. We definitely have some ideas and things in the works.
Yeah, and any book recommendations. If you have a favorite running book that you think we should read, let us know.
All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. We will see you next time, or we'll see you here at the store. Have a wonderful day.
Bye-bye.
Bye.